And we're back. I found it, as I say, it's way up at the other end of the photo album. If you have iPhoto, you know how that is. So I'm going to screen capture some Tommy. Actually, let him sit here for a moment. Worked. And we want to use the... Okay, we're going to do the mouth. Now, one thing you gotta know is the mouth is not flat across. That is something that a lot of beginners might make. I mean, his face is curvy no matter how flat it is. We're talking, you know, maybe one or two people in the known universe. Mickey Dolenz one of them. They have an absolutely flat face. So when you're doing people, you gotta have, you know, like you're going through picture after picture after picture. So it's not there somewhere. You want to get as many pictures as you can of your subject. If we're going to talk about books, we're going to talk about helpful books. We're going to talk about a wonderful pop sculpture book. It's the first book in my searching for sculpting books that has actually shown how to cast, which I'm not there yet, but cast and use modern resins. And so those of you wanting to build your library, wanting to study, you're going to want Learning to be a Doll Artist by Martha Armstrong Hand. That book goes through, I think I heard they were reprinting it, so, you know, don't overpay for it. It should be out there somewhere. Just shaping his lips right now. You're going to want, to the Martha Armstrong Handbook, you're going to want Pop Sculpture, which just came out, so you can get that on Amazon and all that. And you're going to want to look into a book called Carving Humans. It's for carving instead of sculpting, but, so just smoothing out here. Carving Humans has wonderful, wonderful anatomy lessons in it. A lot of people, especially in the ball joint doll community, are into the Yoshida book, and that's okay. One kind, but it does, but it doesn't. It shows you how to do the leg and arm joints. It does not show you how to do the body joints, which the Armstrong Handbook does. And that book also covers wax molds and porcelain. But kind of once you figure out the gimmick to the Yoshida method, if you've messed around enough and you kind of know what you're doing, you can get away without using the book. There's a much smaller book that's like a real crash course in it. And half the stuff in the Yoshida book, like to make the eyes and all, if you could find that in the U.S., I'd give you $1, I swear. But, and I'm gonna give it away. The gimmick, believe it or not, is building the doll. The base of the doll is styrofoam, and you cover it with an air dry clay. The doll, or Premier, I love Premier. It's a lot lighter, really stiff. You're gonna cover it with, you know, whatever. I suppose one could use. We're gonna have to get here. We're gonna have to remember one side of his mouth goes up like that. Yeah, he looks a little weird right now, but it'll work out. Yeah, anything pretty much you make the doll's base out of styrofoam. There's, if you've got the very first extra they put out for the Japanese version of Gothic Lolita Bible, they actually show it in there. And you look around on the web, you can find scans from that. But like I said, it's just he's working on styrofoam for the core of the doll, because once you make the skin out of the air dry clay, you then go in and you cut the styrofoam out. So start pushing down there in the mouth. And I got tired of having styrofoam pieces everywhere. I started using, if you've looked at Roger started off with straws and toilet paper tubes. Put a toilet paper in there too. You need a skin, but I used a toilet paper roll as the core of a doll I started on my blog called the Ladal Doll. I'm not getting around to finishing him anytime soon. I don't know why, but that worked well enough without having to use styrofoam. It's a little more environmental. You can just put paper wads in there, whatever you want to put in there. And then once you get the skin, you go and you would hollow out the styrofoam or whatever. So there, I just saved you, people charge $75, $100 for that book. So some of those Jenny books, it's like, what are you people thinking, And I really, somebody paid $100 for a doll pattern book. You must really want it. And I hope you're happy with it. Now we're getting really close to when we're going to be doing Roger's expression, and having done the previous one with that, that kind of nice house, nobody home, or knock really loud, they're in the rumpus room look, I want a little bit of a smile to him. I'm letting this sit for a bit. Of course, now I find the picture I wanted of his profile. Rather nice. His mouth is getting a bit wide for my liking. So I'm gonna do this. Okay, I'll let the lips themselves, they're a bit big. We're gonna let them sit for a minute. Because it's the thing with this, you let some of this sit for a minute. So I'm gonna turn him upside down so we can get to the side of his head. As you can see, take out some of that thickness in his lips. It's not Mick Jagger. And so this way I twist him around, this lets me see the side of the nose needs a little attention. But you want to look at them for all the way around, and there, fix that up a little bit. Like I said, this stuff will carve when it's dry. And that's why as I've been working with it over the years, I've left some of it to what I call dry work. Do it on this side. We're going to smooth out that mouth. It's sticking out a bit much. This, I forgot what this part is called. Lovely description on Gay Nose Fetish. Nicholas Rose. I already made one of him. And that brings up bodies. These little boogers. And kind of what got going with my website and all that, but fine. Roger's going on one of the DMLs. I have 5 of those. Those are the ones that Dragon Models Limited uses. Kind of before I think they might still use them, but and character options. Surprisingly enough, when they did their 1/6 Doctor Who's, used looks like the exact same body, just different heads. But yeah, it's a nice little common body. I'm using it for all 4 of the Who. So just gotta remember when I do group shots, have Roger crouched down a little bit. But some of the other ones, like Nicholas, where I mentioned a minute ago, ended up going with the Triad Omega because he's a little taller than my quote-unquote average guys. But his friend Watson had to go out and get discovered that Ignite made a Napoleon Bonaparte. This lovely little body with a little shorter than the average, a little tubby tum-tum. See, we're getting somewhere. And that, part of the beast that is my website, dolphylittles.com. Never the same doll twice, except for Taffy and Jareth, the twins. And all these different bodies, like finding the Triad Samurai Champloo works for Jimmy Page, and it would kind of work for Pete, except Pete's skinny, but he's not like Jimmy. Have you eaten all decade? Skinny, and what did we just do with that lower lip? That lower lip is not going to work. So see, if you flatten it out, you can always squish it back up. So I have to turn him, and I have to look at him and go, eh. That's the thing. I always remember to sometimes when this stuff is just too soft, literally too soft, too fresh, you can't do too much with it. This is sort of small end of the tool, flatten out of the lip a little bit. You get used to it. Looks, you know, some people might say it's a little hard to see what's going on, but you get used to looking at them. I wonder how long I've been doing this. You lose your concept of time when you're working on some of these little boogers. Yes, I'll call them all sorts of things till they're done. That really not. See, it's when you're unhappy and you've got to work them. It makes you grow as an artist. And if it comes out that he's not Roger Daltrey, I'm just going to let him dry. I'm going to put him in the head box, in the head cabinet, and find something else that he can be. But he's looking. See, you move it in one place and it moves somewhere else. And Roger's kind of short in this space. His lips really are not that thick. The left side of his mouth goes up higher than the right, and he's crooked. The right side of his face is longer than the left side. And so you get in there, you work a little part of it, you see this part. There's just too much stuff going on here. With that axe. Yeah, I did the edited together that Nutcracker of the Dam, and if anyone's wondering, yes, I finally got downloads. I had the what I made off my light at the end of the tunnel tape. Yeah, it tells you how told you get off my lawn. That was the only dam I had for a while. That was an adventure in itself. And I cannot believe how long ago that is, but then again I can. So looking through the doll pictures and going, oh, you're that old. I've had you for that long. It's... Can't imagine, you know, it's like living without some of these little angels, and there was a time when I did. Now we're gonna see about opening his mouth a little bit. Get in there with that little... And literally, once you get the shape of it you like, literally open it. The tool's wet, it's not going to stick so much. See? Just getting there. Not really going to carve teeth. It's not at this scale, you know, unless you like sticking little vampire fangs on them. It's not that important. You can do a lot with paint. Let's see, let's get another. Let them sit for a while. Get somewhere where we can get a picture of his smile. There's going to be a line. I know there's a line here. This laugh line. This is where I might have to add some more the next session. So this is part 1, because this wonderful little tendon here, or whatever this is, took life drawing. I didn't take notes.